of this, it helps to have some history of the product. And now because this is a rare, more exclusive item, there are a lot of people who don't even know that they exist. They have been making these sets since all the way back in 2013. So this would be the 5th year that they are doing these exclusive Planeswalker packs. Now, the one they did first, originally, how they started out was they had a set of 5 walkers, and they were these black on black kind of things that you really had to tilt in the right light to even be able to see, but were conceptually, like, they were pretty cool. And originally when they came out, not too many people cared about them. It was like, whatever. The next year, they ended up doing 6 walkers, same kind of black on black concept, but they also included Garruk's axe, Nerf-made Garruk's axes, and they came included with this, which was a really cool little novelty. These little extras are neat. With the one after that, they did 5 walkers, again, black on black. This one came with a nice, thick, hard-covered booklet, and that was the 2015 edition. Last year's, instead of black on black, they did a zombie theme. So all the Planeswalkers in the Planeswalker pack were zombie-themed. This year, it is an Egyptian theme for Hour of Devastation. And the cards look very nice. Honestly, the cards from this are very attractive. In terms of the way, at least for me, stylistically, I'm a huge fan. We have the Planeswalkers Jace, Unraveler of Secrets, Liliana's Death's Majesty, Nissa, Steward of Elements, Chandra, Torch of Defiance, Gideon of the Trials, and of course, Nicol Bolas, God Pharaoh. Now, I'm not going to talk too much about the artwork here in this video because honestly, there is a gigantic, all this artwork is part of a gigantic mural, and it's very interesting to look at. So instead of spending this analysis where I go on and on about that artwork, we are going to do a separate Flavorful and Flavor Fail about that artwork. So because of that, I'm not going to be touching too much on the Planeswalkers in terms of the art. I mean, there is a little bit that I'll say. I mean, I definitely enjoy the fact that this is like their pictographs or whatever it's called when these are inscribed into like this gigantic wall out in the desert. It's a really cool concept, at least for the 4 walkers, or not 4, sorry, at least for the 5 walkers that are actually inscribed into the wall. Now, Nicol Bolas is not. He is not part of the wall. He is actually physically present at the wall that these are all inscribed in. Now, in this artwork, I personally find the Nicol Bolas artwork to be pretty hilarious. He's all hunched over. Once you see the full mural, you'll kind of get a better grasp of this artwork. But until you do, this just looks like he's just living the Katy Perry, "Babe, Bolas is a firework. Come on, tell me what I'm worth." Like, Jesus Christ, the artwork to me is hilarious. That's the only one that's a miss. And it's unfortunate because when taken as part of the whole, the gigantic original artwork that all these were taken from, it actually works. But on the card itself, it looks quite laughable. Another thing I really enjoy is the fact that they tried to get as much of the artwork into the actual art box as they could. I mean, yes, they do extend out past the box, but in terms of Planeswalkers that have fewer abilities, you will notice actually that the text box and everything is lower than on Chandra and Bolas because they have more abilities. So luckily for us, we get a nice big window of artwork on there. They're not all choked down to the standard size of artwork on a Magic card. So, in terms of valuation, basically, when it comes to these kind of cards, every Planeswalker from a Planeswalker pack in the past has had a floor value of $30 bare minimum. Now, there have been some of those Planeswalkers that were printed in those packs were absolute garbage, and some of them were really good. Now, obviously, the really good ones end up being worth more, but the minimum value for these, historically, there being 4 previous sets of this, is $30. So each of these Planeswalkers here are worth $30 a piece, bare minimum, okay? Now, the value that they're actually asking for this pack, we'll talk about that, I should have mentioned it before, $180, and this is American pricing we'll be dealing with because this is an exclusive item. This is not the sort of going into every country sort of thing, although you might be able to get, I know you can get it anywhere inside of North America. I'm not sure if you'll have access to it outside of there, but you don't have to be going to SCC, you don't have to be going to the convention to actually get your hands on this. There is a way to do that, and we will talk about it as well. Now, $180 is the asking price on this. Last year's was like $99. They've all been 100 or less previous to this. Now there are some people who are outraged about this price increase. I mean, the older sets, first of all, let's talk about the valuations. The 2013 edition is worth about $650 right now. The 2014 edition is $350. The 2015 is $325, and the 2016 is like $250. So they have been decreasing in value the same way they did with From the Vault Dragons. Each year they do this, it basically decreases the value of the entire property as a whole. So aside from the original set, which has maintained a hardcore value and was the most limited printing, these also sell out slower each year, and that may be just due to increased amounts being available or a slackening demand as well. Regardless, previously they were $100, now they're $180. I am okay with this because this is a product where what was happening was people were trying to buy as many as they could at $100 because they knew they could flip them and make an easy $100. And I don't like people doing that. I do not enjoy something coming from Wizards, then going to somebody else, the price getting jacked right through the roof, doubled essentially, before it gets to the person who actually wants it and enjoys it, just because this other person had the opportunity to jack in there and take half the money. So personally, I would rather that Hasbro and Wizards get the full 180 rather than selling it for 100. Somebody eBays it for 200 and someone still ends up paying 200 at the end. So having this jacked up price basically just means they're making sure they're getting the money instead of scalpers, which is fine because they're the ones making the product. Now, on top of these Planeswalkers, which again at $30 a piece, that's 180 right there. This actually comes with an amazing 2-foot by 3-foot nickel bolas screen print. Now this thing is really, really cool looking. At least this is in my personal opinion. The artwork on this thing is fantastic. And it's 2 by 3 foot, right? Oh, it looks so good. It is actually put on MTG cardstock. So for some people that may be a benefit. Other people may feel that MTG cardstock is a little too flimsy for this. I fall into the camp of thinking it's cool. And this reminds me of the old school posters that they used to make in like the 70s or 80s for fantasy stuff. So I'm a massive fan of this. Now, when it comes to posters, there's not a lot of information about Magic posters being sold at conventions. So instead, there are things like Mondo posters that are sold at conventions. Now, these are rare posters tied to all kinds of different properties like Star Wars or whatever, right? And these tend to be very popular. Now, this is an incredibly rare poster. If you look at the box set to contain it, you can see that the little black box holds the Planeswalkers, and that gigantic box with the cool-looking Bolas artwork on it is intended to house this poster. So this is most likely not a folded poster. The box is probably 2 by 3 foot and holds the poster unfolded. Now, these kind of posters, the mono posters that I was talking about, some of them can fetch up to $100 depending on how rare they are and how long they've been out of print. Now, given how rare this product will be, this poster will most assuredly have value. So in terms of the $180, this poster at least is going to be worth $10, which puts you above the $180 you're originally going to be paying. Now, this product isn't for everybody, obviously. This is something that most people would love to have, but is outside of a lot of people's ranges. And that's completely understandable. In all honesty, this is not something that I'm going to be able to purchase. I have basically family obligations, medical necessities, and things of that nature that make it so that I simply don't have the funds to be able to spend essentially $200 American dollars buying this, including shipping and whatever else. I simply don't have the capacity. So if you're somebody like me who can't do that, don't feel bad. There's a whole bunch of us. I know what it's like. We can all admire the beautiful artwork, and we'll talk about the flavorful and flavofail on the big panorama. But yeah, if you can't buy it, don't worry about it. We're here to talk about whether you should buy it. And my advice is, if you can get it, yeah, you may as well. I mean, it will end up most likely being worth at least a little bit more than what you paid. But valuations all aside, this is incredibly cool and incredibly rare. Mostly only people who go to the San Diego Comic-Con are going to be able to get it. However, what happens is Hasbro does release some of these after the convention on their toy shop website. Now, when they will release it, it varies because there have been times where they've released them like midweek and there's not much of an announcement, and the window to get them, the first one when they put them out, were gone within 10 to 15 minutes. Now, either through supply like issues or whatever it is, or a slackening demand, the 2016 one actually took 30 to 40 minutes to sell out. Now, that one did not include any bonus item, was just 5 walkers zombie themed, right? So it might just be that people didn't care that much about the zombie theme, and there were no add-ons. Like the previous one before that had a book, the one before that had an axe, so people may have been disappointed that there was no add-on. People may have been disappointed by the zombie issue. There may have been more created. So, and combined with the lesson demand. So just keep in mind that even though the previous one took 30 to 40 minutes to sell out, it may be a shorter window. So in terms of being able to get these, you only have about 3 chances. The first is going to the convention, which gives you the best chance. The second is making it to the website when they do their initial offering of them. After that, the only chance you have is previously what's happened is people have tried to order multiple of these at once. And don't make that mistake, guys. If you get there and there are some to order, get through the ordering system as fast as you can and only order one. Because if you order more than one, what happened to these people before, these greedy fuckers, and I'm glad it did actually, they went back through the system, restricted them all down, canceled out all those orders, and dumped all the extras back out for people to grab. So there will be an initial batch, and depending on how things happen, if they've changed their system and don't even allow ordering more than one, then perhaps, or if people are using multiple credit cards, there may be another system that they use to figure out if multiple orders are going to the same place. So there is the possibility that there may be a second batch. All you can really do is keep your ear to the ground, pay attention at the Hasbro Toy website for about a week after the convention. And I will try and give an update when I have more detailed information as to when you can purchase this. But in terms of what you're getting 6 extremely rare Planeswalkers. Now, this one is cool in a way. I'm not a big fan of the Gatewatch because of how much they've been done. But now that I know that they are going to be moving on, I'm far more comfortable with the Gatewatch. And this is the Chronicle of the Gatewatch's Defeat and includes Nicol Bolas. This is a really cool, really flavorful Planeswalker pack. I feel like this one is much, much more desirable than the previous years. In fact, when I looked at the 2016 one, I shrugged. I didn't care. I remember when I looked it up for this video, I was like, oh yeah, they did do that. And who cares? And it was the first time they varied from the black on black. And it was just an error. The zombie theme was not a good choice. But going this way with the Egyptian theme, yes. So, I approve of this product if you are somebody who has the means to be able to purchase it. I hope that this video was of interest to you guys. We are going to go ahead and tackle the flavorful or flavor fail on the full-on panoramic view of these. It's really nice to look at. So, that'll be up in a little bit. Thanks for spending some time with me, guys, and we'll see you for the next MTG Purple.